Hey, good morning and welcome to Friday Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com, and I hope this finds you well. As promised, up on our website, at the Patriot website, we have the link to the funeral for Eric tomorrow. It will start at 9:45 a.m. Arizona time. So for those of you out-of-towners, those of you that can't make it to the event with Corona and everything else, you can tune in. If you go to allamericangold.com, right at the top there, you'll see Eric's picture. There's a link right below that. Click that link. Don't click the picture. Click the link. And like I said, it'll start at 9:45 tomorrow. And just thank everybody for all the great support that we've received. Obviously, tomorrow's going to be a sad day, but hopefully a joyous day, knowing that at least, and I know all of you out there, Eric was doing what he loved. And, we're just going to pay honor and tribute to him. And, I don't know quite what else to say without breaking down here. So there you have it. Patriot Radio News Hour. A lot of things to talk about, obviously, with what is going on in the world today as far as the Congress has gone home. Right? They've gone home. They're not going to be back to September. No stimulus. I know, again, we'll see these executive orders aren't going to really do a whole lot. As I already told you, disappointing. That's all I can say. When we're sitting here, we're facing this crisis. It's not of our volition, right? I didn't vote to shut down the country, right? You guys didn't vote to shut down the country. This is a decision that was made by our elected officials. And now you got 30 million people, when normally we'd only have 1.6 million people. We got 30 million people that are on unemployment. We've got food bank lines that are miles long now. We had retail spending out for July. It actually was less than expected. And, of course, they tried to put the best spin on it, but let's face it, we were giving everybody an extra $600 a week, and the spending was less than expected. And now already, I can tell you already, because, you can track MasterCard, credit card, Visa, and all that. They give you a heads up. August is looking very weak right now, and Congress went home. They went home, right? They essentially said, well, if you're not going to do what I want, well, forget it. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. That's not leadership. That's not the art of the deal, right? As President Trump wrote a book about what a great deal maker he is. Well, where's the deal? What are these people supposed to do? How are they going to pay their rent? How are they going to pay their mortgage? How are they going to pay the car payment? How are they going to get this job? They talk about, there's jobs out there. There's not jobs out there. There's not. Believe me on this. Arizona, we've been open for a while. I mean, very, very few jobs are available out there. I mean, it's not like there's no jobs, but you got to be qualified. I don't know what the answer. Well, I do know. I think I know what the answer is, and I've been saying this all along. You got to put everybody back out there, and we just got to do a better job on COVID. We got to get our best people out there, our best hospitals. Everyone who gets COVID's got to go to the best hospitals. Period. Should be free. Right? Quit spending all this money on all this other crap. If you got to go to the hospital, it's paid for, and we're going to give you the best care possible. But I guess we'll do it this way. So what does this mean for the economy? And again, I hate to say, this is what I personally believe. The Democrats wanted to go home. And I think the Republicans did too. And I get it. After a certain point, like, well, how much more money can we spend? Well, until everybody's opened back up, these people are unemployed. They're going to stay unemployed. the Democrats want to go home because they know this is going to hurt the economy. I mean, are you really? I mean, this is what we've come down to now? It's okay. It's okay. We don't really care about the 30 million people. And really, let's face it, we're a country of over 300 million people. It affects us all. We're just going to go home? Right? And not only do we go home, hey, we'll be back, after Labor Day. Hey, don't worry, we'll be back in 3 weeks. It's okay. And again, this is really the issue. They all need to go. This is why we need term limits. We need people in there that want to actually get things done. Right? Not people out there that have been there their whole life, playing all these games and doing all this nonsense, going home. Yeah, I'm sure it's great for you. What do you care? Right? You're going to have a nice little vacation. It's absolutely ridiculous. But again, this is why, what I'm getting the most from people calling, especially a lot of new customers? Hey, I'm worried. This isn't right. I see what's happening. And you know what? I feel a little better. Buying some gold and silver just makes me feel better that I'm doing something to get ready. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Just in disbelief this morning as Congress has gone home. This used to happen when I was a kid. Right? This is stuff kids do. Right? When they don't like, I don't like it, I'm taking my ball and going home. Now, when I was growing up, when you did that, right? You did that. Hey, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going home and I'm taking my ball with me. You walked through that door, right? Mom was waiting. And if it was the weekend, it's even where Dad was waiting. What are you doing in here? Right? And you tell them, they were cheating and blah, 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 da, da, da. Well, let me tell you what happened. At least at my house. And I'm sure a lot of you listen. This is how it happened at your house, too. You got a backhand and a foot in the ass, and then you were back out there with that ball playing again. Because you knew if you didn't, right, there's going to be a bigger butt whooping. See, this is all gone in America now, and we're a bunch of wimps. We really are. Everybody's afraid of everything. Afraid of freedom, that's for sure. Right? Everybody out there, we want the government to take care of us. I don't need freedom. And we're sitting here with handouts. And again, this is the second time. Could you imagine being a millennial? I mean, I'm a Gen Xer. I can't believe it. I mean, I'll be 50 years old this weekend. 50. And I've watched a whole generation, even my generation, walk away, don't pay their bills, have the government send you checks. And now they expect it. Of course they do. Look at me telling you, hey, Congress left, took the ball, went home because you got 30 million people that need to. What are these people going to do? Going to start rioting? I mean, let's face it. We know for a fact that a lot of these people, they're not the smartest. They can't help it. They got all that extra money. They spent it thinking there's no way Nancy Pelosi and Chucky Schumer, they're not going to let me down. Now all of a sudden August rolls around. I don't have any money. I don't have money to put food on the table. It's one thing not to pay your rent, right? It's one thing not to pay the car payment. It's another thing entirely when you can't feed your family. And again, you look at what's happening. You look at what's happening in Chicago, or you look at Portland or Seattle, and you think about how all of these things, they just keep growing. Who's next? Right? What city is next? And you see people defending, right? We got people out there defending rioters, defending looters, defending arsonists, defending brutalizing and attempting, let's call it what it is, attempting to murder or injure the police. They've got people actually believing, hey, I got a great idea. Yeah, let's defund the police. What a great idea. Right, and you've got people out there that apparently, I didn't elect them, but somebody elected these people out there. Oh, what a great idea. You nuts. I don't know if you've seen what's been really happening in Seattle and Portland, and now possibly Chicago as well. It's been happening in Chicago for a long time for different reasons. Businesses are leaving, closing up. I'm really going to defund the police? I'm out of here. It's bad enough I haven't been able to open up my restaurant or my bar or my gym or my place of business, whether it be because of COVID or because of the fact that the elected officials actually refuse to allow the police to do their jobs. And my building's been burnt or my business has been destroyed. And people are actually applauding that. How can this be? What in the what happened? And again, it doesn't happen overnight. It's been gradual. Right? We've been gradually sliding away. Yesterday, Drudge Report, which, man, I don't even know. Even that used to be the far right. Not anymore. Not anymore. Talking about, right, trying to get people to be scared now. Oh, you should be scared of cash, right? First they tried to create a change shortage, right? Now it's, oh, no, nobody wants to touch it, right? Because they're getting rid of it. And again, why am I upset? Because let me tell you what happens when you get rid of a currency. When you allow for the banks to lie about how safe our money is, right? We talked about that. You know what's funny? It wasn't even, of course, the banks don't tell on themselves, right? JP Morgan didn't come out and say, hey, we got to turn ourselves in here. I know you gave us that stress test, but, we screwed it up. No, that's not what happened. It was the own people inside the Federal Reserve that came out and said, hey, the banks aren't nearly as safe as they're pretending to be, right? And they're pulling a fast one over us. You know what the Fed said? It's fine. Because you know why? We're getting ready. We're getting ready for the next round. Right? We're getting ready for the new currency. We're getting ready for the next round. Listen, we already know we've created another crisis. We just don't want the public to know. And little by little, they got to introduce new things. So at first, remember when it was Ben Bernanke and Janet Yellen, before Jay Powell, they lied, right? They lied about electronic currencies. Said, oh, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not even talking about that. And Bitcoin, and, they'll all talk bad about Bitcoin and all the other coins. Of course, I've told you the real reason they're allowed, right? Hey, work it out. You work out all the bugs, because when the technology's ripe and ready, we'll come into it. Of course, I told you when Janet Yellen was running the Fed, there was that secret meeting. And here, the Federal Reserve, they love to be on TV, right? We can't get these idiots off the TV, right? And they want to spin it everywhere, right? And think about it. That makes a lot of sense. The Federal Reserve used to never be on TV. Did you know that? They didn't telegraph anything. They didn't want the markets to know. They were truly independent. They're nothing independent now. Matter of fact, now they want to have a press conference all the time. They want to have the idiot box put any Fed president that ever wants to go on TV every day of the week. It's somebody else. And little by little, they've slowly been admitting, okay, well, maybe we had a meeting. Okay, maybe we invited some techie guys to show us how this thing really works. And maybe we're thinking about it, but we're not doing anything. And then little by little, okay, yeah, we're talking about it, but, it's okay. One week ago, and it takes a while for this to get out, 2 former Fed economists, along with a current member of the Federal Reserve, we're talking about how the Fed's plunge protection team, which for many years we've known this has existed, right? Save Wall Street, not us. And now they're saying that beyond that, they are now looking at advanced digital payment systems and bringing it to the masses. And so now we're talking about, one of the things that they're talking about is, well, look at what's happened right now. Right? We had to mail these checks out to people. And we mail them out to dead people. And now we're talking about extra money and this and that. Hey, if we went to a digital currency, we could just hit a button. Clickety-clack, enter. And we can send money to people like that. See, isn't that great? Look at how convenient that's going to be. Isn't it wonderful? And let's face it, nobody likes cash. I mean, drug dealers like it. Who else likes it? Oh, terrorists like it. Right? Those big whack jobs that don't want the government tracing every one of their moves actually likes freedom. But they like it, but you know what? This is so convenient now. Think about it. Right? All of these poor people waiting to get their money from the government. Hey, we'll just do it electronically. Just be there. Boom. Here you go. Right? Anytime we need to throw you an extra 500, 1,000, whatever it may be, right? We can do it, right? You don't have to worry about a check and whose signature's on the check and all of those things, right? We'll just send it out. And another benefit, right? No one's got to touch that dirty, disgusting cash anymore. And, of course, they'll be able to track everything and everybody. But here's the thing that you really need to understand. Forget about, obviously, the tracking thing, right? Nobody wants that. That's not freedom. And the power that they could have. And I've talked about it a bunch. When this happens, as they continue to shift to the left or to the right, they can ban anything they want. We want to ban the sale of, and I'll use the simple one at least for right now, assault rifles. we're just going to ban them. We're going to make it impossible for you to use an electronic credit to buy them. There is no more cash. So the only way you could get one now is if you got a black market and you got something to trade. Maybe that's where some gold and silver comes in, if you don't already have one. But then think about it. Let's just say in the next 5 years we go to an electronic currency. Okay? 10 years later, they want all the assault rifles. Passed the law. Well, they know at least for the last 10 years, here's everyone who's bought one. Why don't we just go pay them a visit, shall we? Right? I mean, well, first we'll tell you got to turn them in, right? They'll do the turn-in thing. And then anybody else whoever didn't turn them in, they just shut off your electronic credits until you decide you want to turn them in. Patriot Radio News Hour. Oh, isn't it great? Happy Friday. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. So last week we had former Fed governors talking about, man, if we just had this digital currency thing, that'd be great. Man, let me tell you, superpowers now. This is what happens when you throw good money after bad, right? We've already this is a failed event. It's another failed experiment of fiat money. You know, the central bank only came into existence in 1913. In 20 years, they took your gold away. In a little over 100 years, they've devalued the currency 99%. Horrible. By anybody's account, that is not what it is. Look at wealth. We've got a shrinking middle class, which is going to get really shrunk down. And we have very huge extremes. I'll give you an example. In the last 100 days, the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ are all up over 50% in 100 days. Now, you think that'd be a record. Actually, we did that once before. Yeah, it's true. Any guesses onto what year that was? If you've been listening, I bet you a lot of you know the year or close to it. Yeah, that was old 1933, folks. Right? Congratulations. Right? And again, of course, we've told you this. This is expect these huge swings. Never before have 6 companies now, just six, and you know who they are. They are now more than 25% of Wall Street's entirety. When you think about the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, they're more than 25%. 6 companies. See, this is what happens when currencies fail. And now last week you had former Fed people talking about, man, it'd be so wonderful. Yesterday, there was another conference, this one in Massachusetts. They wanted to enhance the Federal Reserve's understanding of digital currency. The Federal Reserve Bank of Boston is now collaborating with researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, also known as MIT. By the way, a lot of the researchers at the Federal Reserve, that's where they're from, MIT. They love MIT. And they're saying that their effort is to build and test a hypothetical digital currency orientated to central bank uses. Now, hypothetical's nice, but let's face it, what is really happening? The Federal Reserve is getting ready. Question is, are you getting ready? Right? Don't think Don't think all of these things aren't connected, right? Oh, it's just coincidence. No. Right? We had too big to fail. They didn't make them smaller. They made them bigger. Who does that? Right? Throw good money after bad. Then they come out with these great rules that were going to make you feel better. Right? Kind of like when they closed the banks in 1933, when they reopened them to make you feel better, they created the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance, right? Make you feel better. Oh, yeah, don't worry, you're insured to $250,000, which was great. It was great when the banks were small, right? When the banks were small, the FDIC would have plenty of money if a bank went under. Of course, now, 90% of our money is in 10 banks. And if one of those two banks goes under, they all go under, right? We understand that now, don't we? The FDIC doesn't have trillions of dollars. It's got like $30 billion. Right? And think about it, right? It's a fallacy, just something to make you feel better. And now they're talking about, hey, don't worry, this is just a hypothetical digital currency. I mean, we're just testing it, see how we like it, right? Drive it around. But don't worry, it's fine. And the prepared remarks of a speech titled, An Update on Digital Currencies, prepared and delivered yesterday at a Fed technology event, the head of the Boston Central Federal Reserve, the president, came out and said a significant policy presence would be required to consider the issuance of what they are calling a CBDC, along with extensive deliberations and engagements with other parts of the federal government on a broad set of other stakeholders. See, we're getting all the pieces together, right? We're creating an acronym for it, right? We're getting all the banks ready, right? We're talking to all the other government agencies. But don't worry, it's just hypothetical. We're doing this just for fun. And they said it's important to understand how existing provisions of the Federal Reserve Act, the one that they openly violate, the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. Listen, nowhere in that act does it say the Federal Reserve can buy stocks, yet that's what we're doing. Right? Nowhere in there does it say that they can bail out Wall Street, yet that's what they were doing. What it does say in there is you're supposed to have a stable currency. Well, I guess it is stable because all it does is go straight down. Lost 99% of our purchasing power. But they're looking into understanding how they can manipulate the Federal Reserve Act. I put the manipulate in there. With regard to currency issues. And whether we could have a legal tender status for this new hypothetical electronic currency. Need I remind all of you, everywhere in the world, this isn't new. It's not. I mean, of course, we know it's not. Right? 1933, we did it once already. It's time to do it again. Every 100 years or so, you got to do it. Right? Because that's about how long it takes these morons to destabilize everything. Remember, a $20 gold piece in 1933, they paid you $20.67 for it. Hey, it's okay. Of course, 90 days later, they changed the value to $35. Think about the devaluation that did to your 67 cents. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. So when you think about what I'm talking about, think it's on accident, right? We know now that the major banks have lied and cheated on their stress test with full knowledge of the central bank, right? They know. Don't tell anybody. And it's not billions. Right? They're talking trillions. If you take the 10 largest banks, we're probably talking about cheating, $50 trillion. We're not bailing that out. Right? We're going to change the money. And don't worry. It's fine. Hopefully it's organized and orderly. That's what I hope for. This will be orderly. We're going to have the crisis, and this is going to be the solution. Right? And we're going to give you so much convenience. Right? Think about it. We won't have to wait now for Nancy Pelosi to get back from vacation. We can just electronically send you money. Isn't that great? And the part they don't tell you about is that devaluation part. When you think about, that was a 75% hit. And you got $20. I'll take out the 67 cents because that's too hard of math for me. And then 90 days later, they say, oh, that was really worth 35, but we only gave you 20. Of course, think about it today. Right? Our bread and butter coin's a $20 Liberty or a $20 St. Gaudens. Right? They're $2,200. Would you say that was a good job or a bad job? God, we put you guys in charge, and this thing was worth $20. And in 1933, you took that away from us, and 87 years later, that thing's now worth $2,200. Could you imagine if you had put that $20 under your mattress instead? Could you imagine? Right? That's why I always say why gold's such a great investment and why the paper guys just hate it. You had $100, five $20 bills under your mattress. In a coffee can, you buried it, whatever you did. Put it in your safe. And you put that same $100 into five $20 gold pieces. Right? And 87 years later, you go in there and you're like, wait a minute, I got $100 in 20s. Right? If they didn't disintegrate, right, and go to poof and essentially be worthless. And then I've got these other $20, but these ones I put into gold. And I've got 5 of those. Right? That's now worth $11,000 instead of the $100. This is what we're talking about. And this is what they're setting us up for. How big of a whacking are we going to take on the electronic credit? I don't know. But I do know that they're hiding at least $50 trillion of debt in these derivatives. And, of course, we're at a time here where we know, I don't need to rattle off all the numbers of how many people aren't paying their bills again. Right? And all these derivatives are tied to debt. That's why you need to put things away. This is why there's a lot of people out there, they don't know why they feel better, but they do. They know they've got to do. I don't quite know exactly what's wrong, but I know something's wrong. Right? I know something's wrong. Right? 30 million people are unemployed, and the S&P 500's at an all-time high. That makes no sense. NASDAQ's at an all-time high, right? The Dow's just under an all-time high. Something's wrong. And this is what it is. There's that thing that's underneath. And all as the central bank has done is destroyed wealth. This is what they do. They're the destroyers of wealth. They say they're the creators of wealth. They're actually the destroyers of wealth. We had some silver walk through the door in Colorado today. Great opportunity. These are going to be BU. Well, I'm going to say they're AUs with some BUs in there. These are going to be mixed Morgan and Peace rolls. Mixed Morgan and Peace. Again, all of them, AU plus. The rolls are going to be mixed. You're going to get some Morgans. You're going to get some Peace. All the Morgans are 21, so they're 1921 Morgans, and then the Peace dollars. Cost, if I had to go out and buy them from the wholesale market today, on a mixed roll, you'd be looking at $640. That'd be my cost. And then, of course, I would add on to that. And you'd probably be looking at somewhere around $695. Let's call it $700 retail from me. I've got 32 rolls. They're not $700. They're not cost at $640. $600. But I've only got 32 rolls. They're live in Colorado, Arizona. You can get in on this. We'll have Colorado ship them. So if you want to get in on, and these things are sharp. I was talking to Jason. Jason's actually called me 3 times during the show. Really, really great looking stuff. AU plus Morgan and Peace rolls at $600 a roll at 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Final segment coming up. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592. I was writing orders during the commercial break trying to clear up some phone lines. I know we had 32 rolls. There's less than 20 rolls. I think 18 rolls left now at 800-951-0592. These are mixed Morgan and Peace rolls. The Morgans are 1921s. These are AUs plus. These Jason, AU pluses, and this is below cost. So when you're talking about buying, this is one of the things that we love to do when we can have these opportunities like that. This would be any day of the week if I was selling these, $700 all day long. You're buying the rolls for $600. That's just a great way to do it. 800-951-0592. We have them in our possession. They're in Colorado, but Phoenix, you can get them too. Jason will ship them down here. 800-951-0592. We got one line open. If you get the answering machine, hang up and call us back. It's just happened. Just walked through the door. It's just Arlene here today, so be patient. 800-951-0592. Gold's down today. Gold's been sitting around this 1940 level now for the last 3 days. Just consolidating here. Silver's been swinging wildly, $1 a day every day for the last 3 days. Down a little bit today, $26 in change. The NASDAQ is negative. The S&P and the Dow are barely positive today. Oil's down today. Just kind of a weird day on a Friday. Obviously, Congress has gone home, but that's not the biggest story. The biggest story really is what's happening with our central bank. The Federal Reserve of Boston just openly said, listen, we're working with MIT. They're part of the mafia group that exists. Danielle Martino Booth, Danielle, she wrote about it. She used to be the right-hand man to the Dallas Federal Reserve president. She wrote about the MIT mafia inside of the central bank. They're now working on that digital currency. So all this stuff about, oh, no, we're not, don't worry. That was, of course, we knew. And again, now the question's going to be, what kind of devaluation are you going to see in your bank account? Right? What's going to happen to that $10,000 or that $100,000? My guess is with the digital currency, kind of like the gold thing, no, it's fine, it's all the same. And then months later, then you get the whacking. Of course, they'll give you the whacking through devaluation. Oh, no, it's still 100,000 electronic credits. It just buys 30% less overnight. That's how they do it. Remember, what does the Fed really want? What is the one thing? Meeting after meeting, right? Every time they parade them out on the television and blah, 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 blah. What is it that they really want? We want inflation. We want inflation. Inflation's not at our target. Inflation. Now, and you hear the Wall Street, oh, yes, we want inflation. Who ever heard of wanting less purchasing power? That's economic strength. No wonder why the rest of the world is leery of dollars. Patriot Radio News Hour. Thank you guys so much. God bless everybody. The link is up on our website if you want to tune into Eric's funeral. Thank you for all your well wishes. Everybody take care. God bless. We'll be back on Monday.